So we work a lot with the cloud, particularly with Amazon Web Services, and we have an expression that we use. It used to be the art of the possible. I'm sure you've heard that before. It's the art of the possible. So if we can build it and we can give it the compute power it needs, we can do this. That's not the condition any longer. It's the art of the knowledgeable. The compute power is there. It's you figuring out how to use it to do that function and mission that you're using and protect it as you do. So it's kind of a huge twist.
Yeah, it is. And it's an interesting problem too. You're talking about the workforce and getting people involved early in this to not only redefine, a standard in the industry, which is you need to be the expert of the expert of the expert.
Right.
I saw the same thing. I was lucky enough to work for an injection molding shop in Connecticut that was dealing with the same problem. They were getting involved with politicians down there because their tool makers were retirement age, and that knowledge was going to disappear and it was going to go away. And they wanted to get the kids in early. And going to a trade school is not a popular thing to do. How do you change that and get people going? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the what you guys are doing for that.
Well, we have stumbled into one of the coolest things ever. And I've done a lot of cool things. I mean, I'm very, very fortunate. I'm very lucky. I've done some amazing things that just, you go back and you look at it, you go, holy crap, how did I get involved in that? What I'm doing right now is in that category of holy crap. So we started about 5 years ago doing for the state of California a cybersecurity competition. So the college students built a competition that the high school students and middle school students participated in. And we did it as experiential. In other words, we literally built sets. The sets contained it was like going through a city. So the first year we did it, we had a water table, a lake that was poisoned, and the guy poisoned it, jumped in his car and was trying to get away and ran out of gas. So we built the lake, we got the cars, we built the apartment where the dude lived, and we built a scenario that the students followed through. So it's like electronic clue, except you're really playing it yourself as a student and you as a team, right?
This is amazing.
So you went up to the car and you did basically a search and seizure on the car, and you looked for digital and physical evidence about who this guy was, right? And we had 16 teams, and we had 16 cars, and we hid digital stuff, like we hid a thumb drive in the car and a couple other things, which led to the guy's email account, which then led to another ledger. And so again, it was just this built upon. The apartment was pretty cool because we hid stuff all around the apartment, and you were given a subpoena to go to his apartment, and you went in and you looked for information, or you looked for things that could help you. Like, so we had a picture on the wall that behind it, had a thumb drive in the picture. And so again, we were able to do all this forensics analysis of all the stuff we found out. And the kids basically figured out who done it and why and how, right? So that was kind of cool. So we transitioned over time. The next 2 years was on a medical device. That got scary, but it was about a medical device, a pacemaker that had malware implanted in it purposely, and they were doing ransomware on the malware of the pacemaker. So that's enough to roll your socks down, right? Yeah. So 2 years ago, the scenario that we were going to do was we wanted to really leap out. And we had been doing our research, and this is where we started talking to our space experts about, cybersecurity in space. And what we decided to do for the scenario was to have a spacecraft that was hacked, malware was planted on the spacecraft, and it was forced to re-enter. And so basically it was forced to deorbit. It came back to the ground. In the magic of, since we're near Hollywood, it survived the crash, and we had enough of the payload that we were able to do forensics analysis on the payload. So right in the middle of getting ready for the competition, COVID hit. So we had to take the entire competition, and instead of it being experiential, we made it virtual.
Wow.
So
that's
we
a
shifted.
project. That's amazing.
It was huge. We shifted to virtual, and we found a gold mine of opportunity. because what we were able to do was to really make it virtual enough that you were using the live tools, and we built a cyber range to do it with. So you were using things like Autopsy and Wireshark to do the forensic analysis on the payload. And these are tools that you use in the real world to do those same functions. And so these teams of students were actually doing analysis on a payload part from a spacecraft. And what they found was some malware that had been planted. And the cool part is, so our students at the university build these scenarios, but they have tech teams. The tech teams are experts from the industry that work with them to build it. And our whole goal is to create an environment that's really challenging, but it's as near real world as possible.
Yep.
And we have middle school and high school in the challenge competing to figure out the whodunit.
Right.
Right. So when people say, oh, this is too hard to do, I'm telling you, we have middle schoolers achieving success in this.
Yeah.
Right. And what we do is we prepare them for the competition by teaching them the components of, you might have heard this before, digital literacy, cloud analytics, and then cybersecurity, particularly forensics and analysis and networking analysis. So it's all those things we talked about, and we put it into this game. Right. So last year we had over 500 high school, middle schoolers participate simultaneously. Right. So it was amazing. It was started Friday and went to Sunday. And the reason we were able to do this is because we ran it up in an AWS platform. And basically, we used a gaming platform in AWS. So we were communicating with each other just like in a gaming world, right?
Wow. Oh, that's there.
And so the students are co-talking, and they're chipping at each other in this language that I'm still trying to figure out. But they're chipping at each other, and they're giving hints and working with each other, and they're solving all of these elements, right? And so we tied the whole game around this thing called the NICE framework, which is the National Standards for Cyber Education. And so by tying it to the frame, every part of the game that you completed equated to one of this NICE framework equation. So there's a direct correlation to everything you achieve to something you're supposed to learn to be in cybersecurity, right? Wow. So at the end of that, we were able to give some digital badges. The key becomes, one, identifying for students, and I'll tell you, you wouldn't believe how many of them said to us, I never realized cyber was in space. I never put it together.
Yeah.
The second thing they saw was, I can do this and it's pretty cool, and I want to do more of this, right? Matter of fact, many of them said, can we keep playing the game? We said, no, man, we gotta catch off. Somebody's got to win. And so we just stop it at a certain point, and that's where it's at.
Wow.
But the real key was getting them motivated, right?
Right.
Showing them that there's this thing, these three attributes, this digital literacy, this cloud literacy, and this cyber literacy. They're career fields you never thought possible. So we're going to do it again. We've got this another challenge coming up in October for the high schools, and this is primarily focused in California. But in April of 22, we're calling it the Space Grand Challenge, and it's going to go international. We've got 6 states participating and 2 international countries, teams participating. What'll be cool about it, not only will it be, this virtual game, but we're also adding an esports flex to it, utilizing a Twitch account, and we'll have running esport commentary as we go.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right?
I think this is so exciting. I just have to say, it's so difficult to get people into science, especially something so theoretical and complex. Right. And just doing something that would actually apply to the job that they're going to have, like adding context to, this is the career, this is what you could do. That doesn't get done enough in the STEM field. So I'm blown away. I'm jealous, but I'm blown away. This is
the whole Twitch thing. It's like we're going to have our own Twitch channel. We're working with the Twitch people, and this is just amazing. The combination of things. Now, what's really cool, as you go through this thing, it's tied to the learning objectives of the national. I mean, when you get done, you're going to be able to say, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I know how to do that. You can put this on your resume.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
High
You've
school
had
student.
fun. Yeah. You've had fun.
Right.
You got so addicted to this. It was so much fun. You wanted to keep going, and it's on your resume. I
Right.
can't. Yeah. It's amazing.
So it, and then you're going to be competing with the Australians, I mean,
Right.
it's going to be international in nature. Now, the other thing that we've done is that we said, we know we were getting to the high schools that had really strong STEM programs. And so what we wanted to do is we also wanted to get to those who don't have that, or they're underrepresented and they don't have the connectivity that we have. So we've created a program called Cyber to Schools. And what we do is we basically help that school create, we refer to it as an innovation club. We don't want to, we didn't want to put one of the specific 3 components as the name. So we really put it about innovation, right? The idea of the innovation is that we provide the lecture material, the training material, the educational material that goes to support development of a team to compete.
Oh, nice.
And so we'll work with that high school, middle school, and we'll also find them an industry partner that will work with them. So they'll provide the technical expertise. So where most of the schools who don't have a tech teacher, right? We're providing, all they have to do is provide a club advisor, faculty. And then we'll provide the tech and the curriculum, and we'll get them ready to compete in the competition. So they'll be competing in the Space Grand Challenge.
Awesome. How do folks, especially in these areas where they don't have these programs, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, so that's what we're starting now. We're in the pilot areas of those where we've got 2 specific unique school systems. I don't want to shout them out or call them out without their knowledge and approval. But once this is proven out on the April condition, our intention is to go nationwide with this thing. There will be no holds barred on this.
And
so to me, it's a community response, right? This is finding a company in your localized area that is doing something, and they're all over, and getting to play with you in that capacity. And so, what is it? It's an hour a week commitment. The rest of it is on the kids. And we've made it, by utilizing AWS, we've made it as simple as we're using an app stream. You're not downloading any software. You can do this from a Chromebook. You can take your Chromebook and log in, and you're running this high-end game.
That's awesome.
So we're just super stoked about it. And then to add the international flavor, and there's a whole lot more we want to come back and talk about when we launch the notification with this thing. But you know what I'm excited about? So I'm excited about seeing all these kids who the light bulb goes off and goes, you know what? I got a chance. And not just the kids, but community college grads or people in community college. For them to know that they can be involved in the space race, the space environment, because they've got those competencies and skill sets, and how to use them, it is the next gen workforce.